you look back on last year and what that group did? Obviously, you have two new guys, but when you saw there were some defensive struggles underneath.
Yeah, I mean, there were some defensive struggles. I mean, how many different ways can you guard the post? How many different ways can you guard the ball screen? I mean, we're going to figure all that out, the best we can here in this preseason, leading into the season. So, the thing about basketball is always evolving, and there are things that worked last year. There are things that we can get better at. And so that's our challenge as a staff, just to continue to do what's going to be best for our team moving forward, in hopes of, putting this thing together so that we have a very successful season that our alum and everybody else can be very proud about.
Coach Beeline said that young guys get on the court as big men because they know what's going on and they know how to defend. Is that pretty much in line with your thinking, or what other elements are there?
Yeah, I mean, any freshman that comes in, obviously, and at any level, I mean, most of the time, you were the best player, you were the guy where you're coming from. When you come here, I always tell them, the first day, there are two things that will affect your playing time. It may be three. It's probably three. But you have to be able to defend, and you can rebound. No coach has ever said, you rebound too much, right? No coach has ever, got on the player for rebounding too much, and no coach has ever, complained about a guy being too great of a defensive player, right? And so, as good of an offensive threat as some, guys may be or believe that they can be, I always felt like as a coach, as a young guy, trying to make an early impact on the team, if you don't know anything else, you can control those two things, rebounding and defending.
You and Billy have obviously had very different experiences this summer in making this transition. What have you seen from him in terms of getting comfortable with taking a step back, but kind of, the head coach transitioning to an assistant and all the dynamics that kind of come with that? Yeah,
well, I think that, just my perception of Billy, I think that he's handled it great. The fact that he's been an assistant before, I think helps him in that. And, the circumstances that his shape, is, it was what it was. But, I think that, moving forward, that we've all really, as a staff, made a commitment to get in sync as quickly as we can. And it's been a lot of teaching and trying for us, understanding what Coach Beeline wants, because you have to coach and you have to recruit to your head coach, right? And so that is what a lot of the summer and much of the fall has been committed to for me, in terms of trying to make sure we make the greatest impact early.
With Mark, Beeline said, sometimes you can see, at least in games last year, you can see what he can become, but it wasn't there every time. How do you coach that consistency or try to get him so that he's being what he can be every time?
Yeah, I mean, it's an ongoing process, man. Again, I always pull quotes from different people. One of my mentors said consistency is a hallmark of greatness, and I think that through film work, through instruction, you just have to develop those learning habits that it becomes instinctual. And hopefully, some early success, will charge that drive for him to, exercise a little bit more consistency in his play, both offensively and defensively. But it's just one of those things. It's just an everyday process. It's not an overnight thing. It's just automatically going to happen. He's a fourth-year guy, and he knows the ropes. He does know what's going on around him. Now it's up to him to kind of put it together.
Do you think the hungry new guys are going to help him in that process too, pushing him each day?
I think so. I mean, obviously, Mo, obviously he's a lot more confident, physically ready. John and Austin have done a tremendous job of coming in here and just being a sponge and working their butt off. And I think it's just one of those things that iron sharpens iron. And so, we always talk to those guys about get comfortable being uncomfortable. And so that is going to require for the young guys to just continually push, because the better that our young guys are, the sharper that our older guys are. And the sharper that our older guys are, you hope that translates down to our young guys in John and Austin. So, it's kind of it's a mutual thing that has to work together in order for us to be a really good team.
And John